So now it's the part of the video where we're going to sit and kind of talk about what we experienced. So me personally, just during the daytime, I think the daytime it was more active. Just sitting down here by myself while there was people upstairs and downstairs. You know, I was hearing things in the other room. I'd go to check, nothing was there. I would see things out of the corner of my eye, nothing would be there. Our equipment going off, the SLS, just everything was going nuts right before dark. Once dark hit, it kind of mellowed out. I mean, we still got stuff, but not as much as during the daytime. So I was excited about that, and I will be coming back during the daytime to experience more. Let's go to Amanda.
So the attic was a hot spot for me. As soon as I stepped onto the property, I felt like I was starving. I feel nauseous. I still feel that way. The woman that's up in the attic, she's still in a lot of turmoil, and you can just feel the sadness, like the anger. She doesn't like men, and you can kind of tell that. She was a lot more active even when it was me and Renee up there. Like, that's when we were getting the voice box hits and stuff like that. And even when Jean was up there, like, Jean didn't, I don't know if Jean just didn't intimidate her, or like, I don't know what it was, but like, whenever you guys were up there, it was pretty calm, but yeah, there was a lot of energy in the attic, and it made me pretty nauseous the entire time. She's definitely...
And also,
hurting.
she had this thing on her phone that was like speaking. It was like speaking words. Even when I was talking, it said evil. And then she said, well, we're not evil. And it says, you are. So I don't know if that has something to do with that as well. But yeah, the attic was definitely a hot spot for the women, I'd have to say. Just because maybe they fit in with what she was feeling, or maybe she felt more comfortable talking to them. I didn't have anything in the attic. So do you have anything else?
There was also a piece of wood that looked like maybe half of a doorknob that flew past me as Tavion was coming down the stairs, when he had kind of been like, all right, well, I'm going to go downstairs.
It almost hit me. I mean, it was probably a couple feet from me.
Yeah, and I mean, it zoomed right past my leg. I heard shuffling behind me, turned the flashlight, and I saw something fly past, so when I turned the flashlight back, then I heard Tavion.
And it was loud, yeah.
Yeah, it was loud. It was
he was wanting to do damage, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So.
He didn't want you up there.
No.
He or she.
Yeah, she did not want you up there.
I'm fine with that. That attic was hot. So you have anything else? Did you spend any time in the basement?
I didn't even make it down to the basement, but when I went down there, like, I personally felt nothing. But that was just...
Yeah, I didn't. We got a couple things in the basement,
was
but
just pulling me up there. There's also one corner in the attic that, when I walked back there, the only way I can describe how I felt is I felt like I was having contractions. I felt like I was starting to go into labor. So that was really, really weird.
So we're almost thinking, of course, none of this is proved. I think just all of the buildup of activity and experiences we've had in that attic, not me, this is what they're telling me. I didn't have anything in the attic, except that piece of a doorknob thrown at me, or thrown in my direction. Maybe she wasn't locked in that bedroom. The woman, back in the 50s, man found out the woman was cheating, locked her supposedly in the bedroom until she starved to death. That's what I was told. Maybe she wasn't. Maybe she was locked in the attic. We found a whole bunch of her clothes up there. Women's clothes up there. Again, we don't know it's hers. Maybe he found out she was cheating because she became pregnant. As Matt said, right around the time this happened was just after World War II. And maybe he came home from the war, found out that she was pregnant, and thought, well, it can't be mine. Maybe he locked her up there till she had the baby, which is maybe why she was having contractions as if she was giving birth. Maybe. Again, none of it's... This is just speaking from the experience she was having. It just all kind of adds together. And there's 2 locks on that door. Why else would there be locks on the door?
Why a high lock and a low lock?
There
was the stress fractures on that door, too.
Yeah, there was...
He saw those, and I saw them. I'm like, okay. It was perpendicular on each side. There's no
It's the
logical
angles your
explanation.
arms would make if you were pounding on a door, elbows in one spot, that 45-degree angle. Those were the angles on those chest fractures.
Okay. You have anything else?
No.
Okay. Renee, what about you?
When we were in the attic, we got a lot of, because we were using the voices, the VOX, And so we got a lot of things, and we were getting, I don't want to say they were answers back, but when we would ask a question, very shortly after we would get an answer.
Yeah.
An answer, a word. Whether it was really an answer or not, but a word. And, yeah, the attic, the top part of the attic. I'd like to come back and really do the top part of the attic. Yeah, and that's where we found that door knob, and it was clear up here by the window.
Yeah, it was all the way.
Yeah,
at
it
the
was
back.
all the way up here.
Yeah.
So, and then when I was sitting by myself in the hallway, the cat balls were going off, and I definitely felt it was heavy, and then it got cold, and then it just kind of went away.
And while she was doing that, the REM pod was going off too, and I was seeing shadows kind of behind her. So
Yeah.
I can kind of stand by her on that. Maybe that did actually happen. And not saying that I'm calling you a liar, but just kind of back up
There
what
was
you're
definitely
saying.
something there.
Yeah.
And earlier in the evening,
Uh-huh.
you said something was standing behind you.
I was actually, that's
In that
another
same
thing
place.
I forgot to mention. I was almost pushed into the attic. That was the only experience I had
yeah.
up there. I forgot about that. My back kind of still hurts, not like in a pain way, but like pressure. Yeah. So like a muscle pressure. I don't know how to explain it any more than that. But I forgot about that. I don't know how I forgot about that, but it happened. And I immediately ran downstairs. I wasn't dealing with that. No. So, you have anything else?
No. And I didn't make it into the basement either.
Okay.
So.
I know James and Matt and Gene mainly, you guys focused on the basement a lot more than anybody else here.
Yeah.
I went down, but I don't like basements by myself. And I was mainly by myself majority of the night. So, I had some things down there, but I don't like basements by myself. Because one, if something happens, I'm trapped down there. If it's in between me and the stairs, I'm trapped down there. That's just the way my anxiety and my mind works, is I'm trapped no matter what if I go down there. At least if I'm up here, I can jump out a window,
Yeah,
But,
true.
or upstairs, I could jump out a window. He's looking at me, you ain't gonna fit through that one. I'll make it work. James, anything? I know James. So James is nobody really knows James. He believes, but he wants to know. He wants to believe more, and
I
he's
wanna
not.
see it.
He wants to see it.
Yeah. So I saw the.
You got anything that caught your eye?
Yeah, I saw the on the furnace.
Mhm.
There was a hot spot on the FLIR. And
FLIR, forward-looking infrared. It's one of our thermal cameras.
And I saw it. It was clear as day, and it was like a couple degrees higher than the rest of the whole thing. It didn't move. I went back later. Same thing was still there. That's the only thing that I saw. And then when we were both down there, we had the SLS go off. You were down there with us too. The SLS went off, and it was the shape of a person.
Mhm.
That was unexplainable.
Yeah.
We'll put it that way. That's my take on it.
Okay. Anything on the other two floors?
Nothing that stood out.
Okay.
Well, at the end of the night, the SLS, we saw looked like a person hanging off the edge in the attic.
Okay.
That's what it resembled the shape of, and I was facing it directly that way. That was
Towards
the
the
only thing
stairs,
I had.
correct?
Yeah, like the railing over the railing.
Over the railing. Okay.
Yeah, and that was the only thing that I saw up there with the SLS.
Gotcha. So nothing else to add?
Nope.
Okay. Matt, you got it.
I mean, pretty much the same stuff. I mean, me and James were damn near side by side the whole night. And we were both kind of the same. We sat there and listened to the quiet and, tried to go, well, okay, that was caused by this, that was caused by that. When that SLS went off in the basement, it was, there's no way to explain it because there was nothing that should have gave it the figures that anything to mimic.
Yeah.
And we showed people multiple times in the videos, if we walk out in front of the SLS, whatever we do, the SLS does. So
Yeah.
now we're behind it. There's nothing in front of us. We're showing you a cylinder-shaped furnace or a part of the furnace is sitting on the ground behind it.
Mhm.
It doesn't look like a person, but why is there a stick, figure person sitting in it? The hot spot on the furnace, that was kind of cool to see. He came up and showed me. He's like, it didn't do this earlier, and it didn't. We had that FLIR down there before the SLS came down. That furnace was cold, just like
Whole thing
everything else.
Was it warm when you touched it?
No.
I didn't touch it. I wasn't gonna touch that.
I had put my hand on it a couple of times, like right at the top. Like at one point, I had one of the
EMFs
on top of it.
Mm.
I decided to have my hand up there, and it's ice cold. I mean, it's metal, and it's
Yeah.
in the basement. So
Do you think the figure or the spot there was maybe between you and the furnace, or do you think it
No.
was on the furnace?
No, it had to be on the furnace.
Okay.
It had to be. I mean, there's no explanation because the whole rest of it was the same color.
Gotcha.
I mean, it didn't change. The only thing that changed was that it wasn't hot before, and then it got hot.
Yeah.
So.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I noticed when the knob come flipping through your area, the EMF on the banister was lit up to orange,
Mhm.
solid. Then at the same time, the rim
The rim never shut off
it
today.
did, but it was a little bit louder at
Yeah.
that particular point.
It did.
Yeah.
It was just going.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's no explanation why that thing should be going off because you were upstairs. I think actually all four of y'all were upstairs. I think he was in the front room.
Yep.
And here in the lobby, and I was sitting at the top of the basement steps watching that EMF go off,
Mhm.
and it all went down at once. So I mean, it's kind of hard to explain how 3 sections of the house at one point in time.
All
go
connect.
off.
Yeah. Anything else?
Nah.
Gene, what do you got?
Not much.
Just the pictures?
Yep.
He got some pictures on the deer camera, so. But he's not a very big talker, but he does good. He brought some equipment today that kind of impressed us. So
Man, Gene, shut up.
yeah, quit talking,
Someone's
bro.
over there.
But yeah, he mainly stuck beside Renee's side, so he probably experienced the same amount of stuff as she did. I want to.
There was 5 of us upstairs and the EMF was going off.
Yeah, I was the only one downstairs. So yeah, the EMF was probably one of the bigger things tonight. There was times. It's funny, so I want to touch on that. There was times where I was like, okay, Grandma, leave us alone.
There you go.
Sorry, I'm not good at the selfie stick kind of the frame here. Yeah, I need a screen on the front of this thing so I can see what I'm doing. But yeah, you're just gonna look at my chin the rest of the video. But there was times you wanna hold it? That works.
There we go.
All right.
I'm so insecure. Yeah, I'm so insecure. But there was times with the REM pod that I would like, okay, it's getting annoying now, please shut it off. And it would get louder. And then it would just stop. And then I can't remember exactly what happened, but I turned around and I was like, watch, I'm going to turn around and it's going to come back on. I turned around and it came back on. So multiple times it would happen on command, which I can't explain. We thought maybe the battery was dying. No, because I just hit the reset button and it went back to normal. But there are some times where the radios, the walkie-talkies will set it off. But it was non-stop for at least an hour. So,
At the end of the night,
Yeah.
it was just like.
Pretty much it was fed up with us as much as we were getting tired.
yeah, I was trying to do noise. And a lot of the times I would pull up the SLS when the REM pod was going off, and there would be a figure standing there as well, on multiple occasions. And I also caught a shadow on the Facebook Live. Check that out. I'll try and edit or like screen record whatever to I can post that small portion of the video, but I'm not too bright when it comes to technology, so don't count on it. So yeah, I love the first floor. I'd say is the most haunted to me. I didn't have very much of the attic. So now we're gonna get to the gist of what people want to know. We're gonna do a vote. Do you think the place is haunted? 100% yes. I believe all 3 spirits are here: the grandma, the boy, and the woman. Maybe even the man. He was pretty quiet if so, but I think he's the one that tried to push me in the attic. I don't know. I'm not a woman, so that kind of confused me. Why he was trying to push me in the attic, according to the story. Shut up. So I don't know. It's definitely haunted. I believe every bit of the legend that has been told here. Yeah, definitely haunted.
Absolutely.
All 3.
Absolutely. All 3.
Okay, Renee.
Yeah, probably more.
Did you want to touch? I heard you starting to say something.
Oh no, I would say that there's probably more. I don't think necessarily that the husband is here, but I think that like the wife's fear of him is still here, and I feel like that
Yeah.
energy is still here. Like
Yeah.
the hatred of her, all of that. That's up there.
And I also want to add, we are going to come back before they tear this place down, and we're going to bless the place, and we're going to help these spirits move on, so they don't have to be trapped on this property the rest of their eternity. So hopefully we can do that too. Maybe I'll post a video on that in the near future. We'll see. Renee, you said yes. You believe it's haunted. James,
Going 5 out of 10, solid. 5 out
solid,
of 10.
solid something. Okay.
Yeah.
About middle of the road, same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay. Cool. So about half